I loved how you mentioned breaking up like the employee life cycle and thinking about that differently, which, reminds me again a lot of that Six Sigma and Lean. Can you give some of our webinar participants some thoughts on like how you've attacked those problems uniquely and any like big insights or things that you've overcome as you've kind of broken down, that employee life cycle into those parts and what types of things you guys have done?
Yeah, I mean, I think first when I moved into this, it's really focusing on the data, focusing on the metrics, right? So really articulate, okay, so what are the metrics, right? Like, what are the metrics that HR cares about and making sure that we as a team all agreed on this is what we care about, making sure that we were all measuring everything similarly across my HR team to be like, hey, when we talk about turnover, what kind of turnover? Are we talking about voluntary? Are we talking about involuntary turnover? Are we talking about annualized turnover? Are we just talking about it on a monthly basis? And just making sure that we're all speaking the same language. And then it's, kind of drilling down, right? It's exactly what you said. I mean, it's like, okay, so we're having, here's what our overall turnover looks like for the company. Okay, let's break it down by our major business units. Okay, let's break it down by our major verticals. Okay, let's break it down by our locations. And then, teaching our teams to really look through the data to be like, okay, so where is our problem? Like, where do we have a problem with that? And I think born of that kind of digging into it and just kind of peeling back the layers, we developed a first year experience program because that's where we as a company seem to lose the most people is kind of in that 0 to 6 month kind of time period. And what we found is if we can get people to stick with us beyond 6 months, typically we will have a much longer tenure with those employees, that we do a lot better when we can get them past that first kind of 6 months of employment. And so, but it was looking at the data to kind of help us figure out like, okay, well, where do we need to pinpoint our efforts? Like we can't do everything, just like from a Six Sigma mindset, it's not about fixing all of the problems. It's fixing the biggest problem. So where is the biggest problem? Helping us kind of use the data to pinpoint that and then creating programs to kind of focus on that and then measuring their success. Okay, so are we seeing improvement with the programs that we're implementing on that specific kind of time period that we are looking at from an employee life cycle?